blessed. But I haven't told you this morning what we are to grieve over. Notice that in the text, it doesn't say much of anything about what we are to grieve. Jesus just simply says, blessed are those who mourn. But he doesn't tell us what the mourning is over. Are you in here with me, church? So some have suggested that this second beatitude is to be read into the eighth beatitude, which is found in verses 10 through 12. So that the mourning transpires or takes place over being persecuted, being persecuted for the sake of righteousness, and mourning for when people insult you and speak all manner of evil against you, that the mourning is to transpire in the eighth beatitude. And so they take verses 10 and verses 12 and they read verses 4 into verses 10 and verses 12, and they say it's because of the persecution and the trials that the believer has to face is the reason for the mourning that we experience in this life. I beg to differ this morning. I don't believe that verses 10 and verse number 12 necessarily have to be read into by verse number 4 so that the mourning has to do with persecution. I believe that what Jesus is teaching us as far as the object of our mourning is the object of transgression, the object of sin, the object of iniquity, that sin is the cause why the Christian is sad. That Christian sadness springs, friends, from the reality that we are mourning over our sin against God. Are you in here with me? It is sin that we are to mourn over. I see y'all gonna make me prove it to you this morning. Sin is worthy of our weeping. In fact, I would argue this morning that if you've never wept over sin, it's impossible for you to be a Christian. If you've never wept over sin, how can the love of Christ be in you? If you've never wept over the things that dishonor God, how can you claim to be a Christian? It is sin that causes the weeping of the believer.